Uh, Good evening, everybody. We are here basically to pay respect and homage to Professor Verma Sahab. In fact, there have been various forums where condolence meetings have been organized, or I don't know if I should say it condolence meeting. It's a condolence meeting, but I think for us, it's also a life to be celebrated. He has lived a long life, and like many of us, he has had challenges. And whereas, various other organizations where he's been involved more as an activist, they have also organized condolence meetings so far. That includes National Federation of the Blind and All India Confederation of the Blind, where he was closely associated. My name is Jagdish. I am here on behalf of Visually Impaired Higher Education Teachers Association. And basically, we have taken this initiative along with our partner organizations, that is Radio Udan, which is a leading radio channel talking about disability issues and a very important source of discussion on these issues. And then we have Saksham, who has been, Saksham is engaged in various activities related to blindness, and particularly, in fact, we were very keen that they should join us because उनका एक बहुत बड़ा focus area is also on basically making reading material accessible. So they've been highly involved, particularly Dipendra Manucha, our friend who's also here. He's been leading this entire movement, which was started on accessible material. And this is something, because Professor Verma was an educationist, and he could not make much use of this technology, but he was somebody who has been very happy that these days these developments are going on, and he was deprived of reading, and now with all this technology we have that, which gives him a lot of sense of satisfaction, which he's seen in his lifetime, though he himself could not use it much. And then we have Disability Rights Front, our partner organization also, who are trying to engage in advocacy activities at the All India level and make it across disability rights movement. Many of the members of Disability Rights Front are also visually impaired teachers here from Delhi University. So we thought it's important that we should, along with National Federation of the Blind and All India Confederation of the Blind, the academic fraternity among the blind community particularly must take an initiative and organize a special meeting to honor his contribution. And also, these days, many of us are relatively much more privileged, or though still it's a struggle, it's not easy to acquire teaching job at the higher education level. But the fact that Verma Saab was a role model for many of us, I think it's important that we all acknowledge his contribution and the inspiration that we have got. And I personally feel, as an aging blind person now, what I have learned from him, the inspiration that I got from him as a growing up blind boy, and now I think as an aging blind person, I'm learning the next lesson from him, how to deal with your old age, how to make your old age life secured. And I think particularly उनका जो एक second volume आया है, of his autobiography, where he very strongly explains how it is for a blind person to secure his old age so that he's not dependent on anybody, including his family members. So I think for us, all of us, he was a role model who knew him personally, and especially those who were growing up in North India and Delhi, when we were growing up as students in the school and colleges. And now actually, and many of us, like who are in their 50s or more, or even 40s, I think, he, before passing away, he also taught us another very important lesson, that how to make our old age secure. That's how I think I would strongly recommend all of us must read his autobiographical work. हमारे साथ यहाँ निशा मैम हैं. She has read the book, and a few other people would have also read it. So that's a strong recommendation, I think, for all of us to know about the old age, what he was going through in his old age, his own challenges throughout his life, and how he ended up being a pioneer in the field of academics and acquiring this job. आजकल ये बहुत इतना डिफिकल्ट नहीं माना जाता है कि वन कैन बिकम अ प्रोफेसर, बट आई रिमेम्बर 1990s में भी हम लोग जब इंटरव्यूज दिया करते थे, इवन इन अ प्लेस लाइक दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन पीपल यूज्ड टू आस्क कि आप पढ़ाएंगे कैसे, हाउ वुड यू बी टीचिंग. सो 1960s में टू गेट अ जॉब एंड दैट टू in a place like Delhi University, it was not an easy task, and he, in that sense, ended up being a pioneer and ended up being a role model to um, most of us, I would say. So I just want to, those of us who have read his second volume that came up, initial book came up something about 10 years ago or 7-8 years ago. But the first edition came up that time. The second edition just came up last year. And there, his life has completely changed, had taken a complete U-turn. I remember talking to Nisha ma'am when she was talking about the 70th birthday they had. His family, his son, his daughter-in-law, they treated him like a god. And it was such a mega celebration. But by the time it was time for his 75th birthday, he had to leave home and slowly, completely lost touch with his son and daughter-in-law, the grandchildren. And it was finally Anil and his wife, and lately they have a little girl. They were the ones who were looking after him. So, at that age, he had to leave his family, he had to leave his house, start a new life completely together, go to a new place, new house, and have a new family. While Anil has been in touch with him, initially he used to drive, और उनके साथ में 1995 से थे, बट जब उनका फैमिली से सेपरेशन हुआ lately, and I've been told कि last 4 years his son had not spoken to him. His daughter-in-law had died due to some muscular dystrophy issue, I guess. And she was also hospitalized for about 9 years before she passed away. But anyway, he lost completely touch with all of them. And last 4 years में तो जो उनका बेटा है मनीष, उससे फोन पे भी नहीं बात होती है. ऐसे में अनिल was the young man who was more than his son, and it was he who was looking after him. So we were very keen that he should be here, और हम उससे और थोड़ा डिटेल में भी बातचीत करते, but he said उनका phone is old and he's not able to access Zoom. So we requested him to record an audio message and share it with us, what he would like to express about Verma Sahab. So can we have the audio message being played, Vikant?
नमस्कार, मैं अनिल कुमार, डॉक्टर वेद प्रकाश वर्मा जी का सहायक। मेरा उनसे संपर्क 1995 में हुआ और 2003 से लगातार मैं उनके साथ रह रहा हूँ। मैं उनकी पत्नी को माता जी और उन्हें पापा कहकर संबोधित करता हूँ। वे बड़े ही सीधे और सरल व्यक्ति थे। उनकी कथनी और करनी में कोई फर्क नहीं था। वे समय के पाबंद थे। उनके मित्र डॉक्टर रावत शर्मा अक्सर कहा करते थे कि डॉक्टर साहब हर काम समय घड़ी देखकर करते हैं। जीवन के प्रति उनका नजरिया ही अलग था। वो हमेशा कहते थे, जीवन बहुमूल्य है, इसको संभाल कर रखना चाहिए और अपनी सेहत का ध्यान रखना चाहिए। इसके लिए वो नियमित रूप से सुबह व्यायाम करते थे और सुबह शाम 1 घंटा मेरे साथ नीचे पार्क में घूमने जाते थे। जैसा कि आपको पता होगा, उनकी अंतिम इच्छा थी उनके शरीर को दान किया जाए, इसलिए उनके शरीर को पीजीआई चंडीगढ़ में दान किया गया है। वे कहते थे कि मेरी किताबों से बच्चे पढ़ेंगे और मेरे शरीर से भी बच्चे पढ़ेंगे। उनकी आत्मकथा के दूसरे खंड में उन्होंने जीवन के बारे में बहुत अच्छा लिखा है। अक्सर उनसे बातें करते हुए एक बार मैंने उनसे पूछा कि अपने और पराये की डेफिनेशन क्या है, तो उन्होंने मेरे को एक जवाब दिया, अपना वो है जो आपके साथ रहता है, आपके सुख दुख में आपके काम आता है और आपकी आवश्यकताओं का ध्यान रखता है। पराये की डेफिनेशन उन्होंने बताई कि पराया वो हो जाता है जो अपना खून का रिश्ता हो लेकिन दूर जाके रहने लगता है। धीरे धीरे संबंध शिथिल पड़ते जाते हैं और उसमें परायापन आता जाता है। तो वो खून का रिश्ता जो अपना होते हुए भी धीरे 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 पराया हो जाता है दूरी के कारण, और मन में एक दूसरे के प्रति धीरे धीरे भावनाएं कम होती जाती हैं। हम उनके साथ सदैव एक परिवार की तरह रहे। मैं, मेरी पत्नी और मेरी बेटी उनको उसी तरह आदर देते थे जैसे एक परिवार, बेटा, पत्नी और बच्चे अपने दादाजी, ससुर और पिता को देते हैं। मैं संतुष्ट हूँ कि मैंने उनकी जो सेवा की शायद एक बेटे से बढ़कर की है, और उन्होंने भी मेरे लिए बहुत कुछ किया जिसके लिए आजीवन मैं उनका आभारी रहूंगा। उनके जीवन पर कहने को तो अभी बहुत कुछ है। सभी लोग उनकी किताबें, आत्मकथा के पहले खंड और दूसरे खंड से जानते ही होंगे। विचित्रताओं से भरा हुआ, यहाँ पर कहना समय अधिक लेना होगा। वो जहां भी हैं उनकी आत्मा को शांति मिले। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
I will very briefly quickly translate in English because there are we have many participants here because VHITA is a national level organization, and so we have a couple of participants here from non-Hindi speaking areas. Anil was saying basically that Professor Verma was a very disciplined man. He would exercise every day in the morning. He would go for a walk for an hour in the morning and evening. And he quoted Professor Ram Avtar Sharma, who was one of the closest friends of Professor Verma. And just like me and many other people, especially growing up in Delhi, was also one of the beneficiaries of his inspiring personality. So discipline was a very important characteristic of him. And second thing he talked about, especially in the second volume that he has come up in his autobiography, he said, who's yours? आपका अपना कौन है and पराया कौन है? Who's your own? जिसको आप अपना कह सकते हैं, somebody who can be, you can say कि he is my son or daughter, and who can be a stranger or an outsider. He said, आपका अपना वही है, your own family member is somebody who's with you and who's there in your thick and thins in the life. It's not the blood relation that matters. What matters is the person who's next to you, how much he cares for you, how much he means to you. And even if you have a blood relation, but if there are differences, slowly the relationship deteriorates, and over a period of time, in fact, even a blood relationship also more or less gets over. I mean, this also we can see it's coming from his own experience, his own pain. As I said, he's lost touch completely with his family, the son and the daughter-in-law and the grandchildren. Generally, we shouldn't be talking about all these personal matters in such occasions, but because he himself was keen that the community should know about it. And initially he had come up with this volume in Braille only, and now it has been brought into print also, the second volume of the autobiography. So that was Anil's respect for Verma Sahab. And also the last thing, he said Verma Sahab had donated his body for medical experiment. And he said, throughout my life, I have the satisfaction that my students, the readers, have been reading from my books and learning from my books. Now I have a satisfaction that even if when I'm dead, the students, this time the medical students, will be learning from my body. So such was the personality of Professor Verma. Having said this, I think let me invite to start with one of the most senior members that we have in our group today is Dr. Nisha Singh. Dr. Nisha Singh, most people from Delhi know her. I have had a privilege of co-authoring the book, the biography of Jawaharlal Kaul Sahab. Kaul Sahab, as you know, is a person who has spearheaded the movement and also the founder of All India Confederation of the Blind. And Nisha Madam retired as a professor of English from Delhi University. And in the last 10, 12 years, she has been very closely associated with the blindness sector particularly, and has been also lately contributing articles regularly in Jigyasa, which is a magazine run by All India Confederation of the Blind. So, ma'am, can we hear from you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Hello, friends.
Ma'am,
Having listened to Anil's words for his father image person, for Mr. Professor Verma, they were very touching words, and I think I'm not only deeply impressed but also extremely grateful to him for looking after him in the last 20 years or so, when there was no other source of of help from anywhere. And what a beautiful interpretation of what is apna and what is paraya. It is not to be decided by blood relationship. It is to be decided by who stands by you and takes care of you ultimately. And he reciprocated also towards Anil and his unit, which I think is an ideal situation in every way. Um, Coming back to Professor Verma, my own association with him was dependent on his autobiography. And I think I knew much more through the autobiography than I could have had known if I had ever met him. I never met him. It was Jagdish who had introduced him to me. It was Mr. Kaul who had introduced him to me. When we went to Mr. Kaul to interview him for the book that we were working on, he passed on a copy of the autobiography to me, and I lapped it up. I just went through it very fast because I needed material, and also it was so it's so well written, so beautifully written, with not only about his own life but about the times through which he had passed, and about the issues that faced blind people in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and all those decades. They became a kind of base material also for us, and they supported the things that we had gained from Colsap's interviews also. Um, he was a he was very honest in his autobiography, very honest about how, from his very ordinary circumstances and difficulties he passed through, and gained reached the point that he wanted to acquire. Another very, very important thing that touched me was the contribution of the lady who joined him as his wife, Krishnaji, I think was her name.
Yes.
I mean, a woman who chose to be associated with him, who was sighted, who was well educated, who was working herself. She put at stake her own career, her own lifestyle, and everything, and against the opposition of the family and society, as you can see, she decided to marry him. Not only that, she looked after him so well. I mean, I think Vermaji might not have been able to get the kind of success he did if she had not stood by him, because she put him on priority. She would read for him, she would accompany him, she would do practically everything for him, and she was a full-fledged companion, full companion with him. So my hats off to her, my deep respects for her. I felt that throughout the reading of the autobiography. But ironically, the happiness, the fulfillment that he got in those days was put to terrible test and reversal when it came down to the family unit, from the son's wife, and the rest of the life, last years of his life, because Krishnaji passed away somewhere in the middle of the whole story. And it must have been a very lonely time. And that was the time when he probably needed, and he was so dependent. He was made to learn to be dependent on a woman, all the time. And she couldn't be there with him till the end. And then last days were very painful. And when the sequel came to me, because he had told us that he would be writing a sequel, he would be complete. He wanted to complete the journey in words. He wanted to write it all down for the coming generations, for all of us. And that is where I think disability or ability don't matter at all. It could happen to anybody. It happens to lots of us. It happens to wherever values don't exist. It happens to generation gaps, and very many other factors. So I'm sure the son might have had his own reasons. I don't have any way to know why he behaved the way he behaved, why the family behaved. His wife came from an educated family. Actually, the wife's parents were from the university itself. Pretty educated people, must say. I knew indirectly some of them too. And I couldn't understand, was there some reason for this thing to happen? I would like to know, because I think we will be putting them on a very false foot, a bad understanding of him, if we don't try to find out. Sometimes it's not good to be one-sided. I mean, this is not to say that Professor Verma has not been correct in his evaluation of the situation. And of course, also you can't forgive the children for whatever their reasons might have been for the treatment that they gave out, ultimately meted out to their father. And if Anil and his wife had not stood by him, I don't know what would have happened. It would have been a terrible thing. Anyway, so the sequel came and the story was completed. It was brought to the end. The book was as if the last page was written, the pen was closed and put on it and said, okay, this is my life. Professor Verma is saying, this is my life. And, when I finished the book, I also had the feeling that this life is now coming to an end. I mean, any day this news would come. This was the sequel. This was the curtain falling on the life of Professor Verma. Yet, the day this morning I read the news about his passing away, I had a terrible sense of loss without having met him. This is the kind of place he had made in my life. I must add that apart from the autobiography that we had read, Jagdish and I were working on Professor Kaul's book. We also interviewed him because we felt that he was the person who should be interviewed if we wanted to have the best picture about Kaul Sahab. So we requested him for an interview and he gladly agreed because he held Kaul Sahab in very high respect, very high respect. And I think they have spent many, many years together in the formation of the two associations, two bodies, whether it is National Federation or it is a confederation. So in both, they were there. Uh, Professor Verma was more of an academician, a professor, a knowledgeable person. The books, you all know how many books he has and what kind of knowledge is kept there in those books, is there in the books. He was an activist, but a quieter activist, not activist in the sense of an activist, And he was contributing in his own way from behind, wherever he was asked to come, he would go. He contributed in terms of money, in terms of donations, in terms of educating people, in terms of coming out uh, and assisting people wherever he could be of use. So there's so many ways he was doing that. But of course, the knowledge, as far as to be the, to be the head of the department. Am I taking too long?
No, ma'am. Please carry on.
Okay.
It's okay. So I think everybody is learning so much from your perspective.
So
Yes.
to be the head of the Department of Philosophy in the university, I think it's a remarkable achievement. And in those days, when things were not coming easily, when there were no reservations, and there was a hard struggle that he had to put in, he would not be easily accepted in the department. I mean, first getting an entry into the department, being the first professor over there, and then becoming the head of the department. Um of course, things have changed now, but then, of course, he was probably the only one and only person over there. And then to come out with the kind of knowledge that he had to render to share with people. His books are being, I'm told his books are being taught even now and referred to everywhere. And there's a master of knowledge over there. So I certainly feel that very, very few people can be named in that category who can stand by that definition of scholarly knowledge. So that was that. And then to be able to, I think I'm not wrong. I heard it from someone too, that he was an atheist. He didn't.
Yes.
He was not a believer in that sense of the term. He was an atheist.
Kana?
It appeals to me because I am also more or less of that thinking. So I mean, I felt even closer to him because of that, probably. The interview, coming back to the interview went very well, very honest interview, and it went on, and ultimately we thought of that he must be tired, after such a long interview, and we should now close it. And we used the interview as it was, verbatim, without any cuts or any editing to the interview. We used it as it was. So these two things, the biographies, autobiographies, and the interview were my approach to him, my reach to him. But I respect him greatly. I think I have learned a lot from him. I think I will also hold him in great esteem all my life, and will always be, maybe in my own mind, referring to him to be an icon for me, to be an inspiration for me. And I'm really sad that he's no more, really, really grieving at various points of time in every day. And we must, the coming generations must remember him, must document him, must remember him, though he has himself written his autobiography, but maybe we should do some more work on him. And there are many good suggestions that have evolved out of the autobiographies and what we listen to in other condolence meetings, or may not call them condolences, perhaps celebration meetings, as we like to call them. But we have to keep him, we have to give him a place in our life. We have to give him a place of great respect and honor. We should not forget him. We should continue with this legacy. It's a legacy. We should continue with this legacy. So these are my words for him, and I hope I have been able to express what he means to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. I think just to re-emphasize and clarify, ma'am, the interview that ma'am is talking about, that is something that me and Nisha ma'am, we both had taken that interview with him when we were writing the biography of Kaul Sahab, which has been published 2 years ago when Kaul Sahab turned 80 in 22. And as ma'am said, that interview that we had with Professor Verma, that is more or less published in that biography of Kaul Sahab, as it is. दूसरी बात, I think कि कृष्णा मैम की जो बात मैम ने बोली, that's a very important aspect of Kaul Sahab, Professor Verma, और वो एक बहुत अपने आप में उनके लिए भी बहुत बड़ी daring चीज थी. Yesterday, Mrs. Professor Sudesh Mukhopadhyay, who was also the chairperson of Rehabilitation Council of India, was there in the condolence meeting. We unfortunately could not have her today. I was very keen to have her today. She was sharing the story that, Kaul Sahab's wife, Krishna ma'am, was her professor in Haryana. And when she read the information about Professor Verma, कि एक blind आदमी है 60s में जो कि इतना educated है, PhD है, and a professor in Delhi University, she revolted against her family, left her teaching job, and came and married him. And Verma साहब ने बहुत clearly अपना ये उनका, he was very clear कि उनकी life में there are these three people who matters most. एक तो उनकी मम्मी, and then Krishna ma'am जो उनकी वाइफ थी, और उन तीनों के नाम पे उन्होंने ऑल इंडिया कन्फेडरेशन में अवार्ड्स इंस्टीट्यूट किए हुए हैं. Now we have another one of our very senior colleagues here, Rastogi Sahab. In fact, incidentally, Rastogi Sahab lives in London, और इस समय निशा मैन भी लंदन से ही बात कर रही हैं हमारे से. She is also currently based in London. Can we have,
start my tribute with a very famous poem by H.W. Longfellow. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream, for the soul is death that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. Lives of great men, old remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing, leave behind us footprints in the sands of time. Ladies and gentlemen, my association with late Dr. Verma started in 1972. I just had come out of the university and I had attended the first ever conference of the National Federation of the Blind Graduates. Earlier it was known as NFBG, of which Dr. V.P. Verma was president and one of the founders. So I attended that conference in Ahmedabad, and there I was moved by his mesmerizing personality. I had read about him in the print media, about his achievements as a student who topped the University of Agra and done his research and then joined as professor, as a lecturer though, initially in the University of Delhi.
Yes.
But his knowledge, his acumen was much more than what we had read about him. And immediately, I came in close contact with him, and I'm proud that during my first meeting itself, I shared the stage with him in that conference. Later, it's a history that the National Federation of the Blind Graduates became the National Federation of the Blind. And just after a few months, I joined the National Federation of the Blind as its public relations officer. And let me tell you that Dr. Verma was the chief architect in getting me as its PRO, and I was the only employee. And from there, my association, which started with him, and that was quite regular, quite healthy, and very informative and educative. During those years, I learned a lot, not only about the welfare scenario of the blind people those days, but also regarding running and managing the associations of and for the blind. Those were the years when there was a very great and vociferous struggle between the organizations of the blind and for the blind. And Dr. Verma and his team, including me, we stood for the organizations of the blind. So he, along with some other senior colleagues of those days, chalked out a plan of having leadership training seminars so as to train the blind persons in running independently the organizations of the blind. She wrote a few books and conducted a few training seminars, we used to call them leadership training seminars in various parts of the country. And the youngsters of those years, like now stalwarts like Mr. Rungta, Dr. R.S. Chauhan, and a few others spread all over the country. We were the beneficiaries of those kinds of the training programs. And after that, a number of regional associations and organizations of the blind flourished. Some of them are still working, and some of them have taken a different shape. So during my interaction with Dr. and Mrs. Verma, he treated us as his own children. We were younger to him by say around 15 years. But he, after my marriage, his wife treated my wife as her own daughter. We were very regular visitors to each other's family and understood, learned everything that he could teach us those days. Even my wife learned a few domestic things from her, though she herself, my wife herself, is totally blind, many of you know, and she's quite a competent lady. But she learned a few things, and she was very well impressed with the couple, Dr. and Mrs. Verma. Friends, Dr. Verma studied and established himself during the days when you young guys can't even think of the things that we were going through. Even when I was studying, even a cassette recorder were a thing of the, other world. We didn't have access even to the cassette recorders. My wife only studied with the real pool tape recorders, but I didn't have even that. So we only depended on Braille, and so did Dr. Verma. So now things have become quite comfortable, quite easy, though, as some of you said, the struggle still goes on, it will go on. But think of the days when there were nothing of the sort, no communication channel, no proper kind of accessibility related gadgets, and more so, a very hostile and negative attitude of the society towards the blind. And because of that kind of thing, I had written an article long back that negligence, not the disability, is our handicap. We knew that we were not disabled, we were not handicapped. It is the hostile and negative attitude and prejudicial treatment of the disabled people of the society that made us disabled. But even that, during that hostile society, I am amazed that Professor Dr. Verma was so quiet and calm. Simply because of his personality, simply because of his acumen and achievements, he got the job without any struggle. The second person we knew during that period who became lecturer, I think you might not know about him. He was Dr. S.L. Thereja, who died very young. But he had to struggle a lot. He had to do a hunger strike at the time when the International Conference of the World Council for the Welfare of the Blind was being organized at Vigyan Bhavan. Late Mrs. Indira Gandhi inaugurated that, and that time he agitated and he had announced that he will do this hunger strike on to death. But after a week, he said that I'm going to burn I'll do self-immolation, spit it over it and immolate the Constitution with me. So that was the situation. And then somehow Dr. Thereja was accommodated as a lecturer at Shraddhanand College. So these were the differences between the attitudes of Dr. Verma, even those days when such a hostile atmosphere existed against us. There were two kinds of groups, like always happens, a very moderate group like Dr. Verma, and a hostile group. Of course, many of us, me, Mr. Rungta, of course, Mr. Kaul, and we were part of that. As very well said by Professor Nishaji, that he was not a provocative activist. He was an exhibitive activist, but in his own way. He is supported from the background. He did wherever his requirement was there. Supported financially, supported intellectually, but he never agitated. He did not support We had a few agitations when he was the head of the organization, but whether he supported or not supported, he never participated in those kinds of agitations. So he was just such a polite gentleman who has all these qualities that is impossible to find in one single man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not competent, nor I have any understanding about his academic qualities. But what I know is that he wrote quite a few books, and some of those books and research papers are still being taught in various universities of the world. He wrote those leadership training seminar books, and we had compiled a small booklet of the great blind persons of those days that is known as They Conquer Who Believe They Can. It was a biography of 12 people, not exactly the biography, a kind of article on 12 great people of that era. Of course, Dr. Verma had to be there. And he had written quite a few books on Louis Braille also. And he, before writing, he used to conduct this very authentic and proper research on everything. So some of his articles on Louis Braille are so revealing that we never knew about those aspects that were hidden. And he found out, he researched, he gave the proof, and then wrote on Louis Braille. So such was Dr. V.P. Verma. Ladies and gentlemen, it's difficult to understand how one person could be the embodiment of so many qualities. He's not only the role model for us, but he will be the role model for generations to come. As you have all said, if somebody wants to know about him, his biography is the resemblance of what he was. And I totally agree. I have read his biography. I have read it few times, but I do not find any difference between the life that he led and the description made in his biography. So friends, it's our responsibility to carry out his legacy so that people of younger generation do learn from his life and do realize that there was a man who could embody so much and so many qualities, which is extremely difficult to find. So friends, with that, I conclude my tribute to Dr. V.P. Verma, and I wish him, his departed soul, to be granted eternal peace wherever he is born or he gets salvation, the moksha. Om Shanti.
Thank you, sir. I mean, it's so nice to hear from you. हम लोग कुछ लोग privileged हैं जिनके साथ, we have had an opportunity to interact with him personally, and you were so privileged. You have had such a long association, and I can say with my own experience, anybody who came in contact with him and Krishna auntie, they kind of treated them like their children, and they found if they found the potential in that young man or young lady, they try to mentor, those younger people as their own children. So, in fact, it's so nice to hear from Rastogi sir, his own experiences and what he has shared about his life. I think based on his own experiences, as he said, can very well is also equally well documented as an autobiography. And that's how in our advertisement, this invite also, we strongly emphasize the importance of reading the autobiography of Verma sir. So moving on, we have another relatively younger colleague, and yet one of our most senior and respected colleague and a friend, Professor Ramnivas sir. Professor Ramnivas sir recently retired as a professor of English from Cook.
Thank you very much. And we just had two very eminent speakers who actually closely knew Dr. Verma. I also had the opportunity to meet him actually in Kurukshetra University because he was here as the on many panels. He also came here for interview, and he also came here for attending the meeting on several meetings actually. He used to conduct the Viva Bus exam, PhD, and he was also a member on Board of Studies, PG Board of Studies. So whenever he used to come here, I used to have the opportunity to be with him and used to have lunch together because the Department of Philosophy also used to invite me. And we used to have long discussion. And one thing I found actually common that even today, as Rastogi has said, about the attitude of the society actually. And that has never been, favorable. And persons, particularly blind persons, they have never been accepted that they can come up to this ladder, highest ladder in the academic profession. So we used to discuss these things because at that time I joined Kurukshetra University. Before that, I was Himachal Government College. And I really faced those sort of problems actually, which he used to talk to us. And then his books, of course, many books actually. And one of my colleagues, actually, philosophy department, she also told me that, that even today, so many books, are into, they are on the course actually in MA, which are introduced. So he was very, very, of course, popular as far as Department of Philosophy in India is concerned, because he wrote books, and his books were, part of the syllabi. So that is very rare actually. And in those days, it was very difficult to become a professor, as Rastogi has said, that, it was really rare actually. And it continued up to 90s, of course, but now the situation changed because of such stalwarts actually who established us, basically. So that's why we have to always, very grateful to such people actually, because it proved that yes, we are, worth for it, even though that the people can have different attitude, but still, such people who worked hard, and we are reaping those kind of things actually. They work hard. So that is why, I'm very, very grateful such sort of, people who really worked hard, and we are getting the credit of it. So I just, pray that, he may achieve the eternal, भगवान उनको बहुत शांति दे, क्योंकि वो सचमुच में बहुत प्योर सोल थे और सबको बहुत हेल्प करते थे, बहुत ही हेल्प करते थे, और बहुत सॉफ्ट स्पोकन थे एक्चुअली, और जो भी कुछ हमारी प्रॉब्लम्स होती थी बहुत अच्छे से डिस्कस करते थे. तो मुझे आज वो याद आई जब हम गेस्ट हाउस में, यूनिवर्सिटी गेस्ट हाउस में खाना खाते थे बैठ के और बातें करते थे. तो that was really, that used to be a very wonderful time actually. So मेरी तो भगवान से ये प्रार्थना है कि उनको सुख शांति दे, उनकी आत्मा को सुख शांति दे. ओम शांति.
Thank you, sir. I think as Rastogi Sahab said, and we all understand how much he loved all of us who were, like kind of children to him. So I think having heard so many senior people among us, now I think slowly we move on also to our relatively, maybe my contemporary. I don't know if I can call myself young, I don't think so. But my contemporary, in fact, and one of them is a very good friend of us, somebody who has spearheaded the entire technological revolution for the blind in the country, and who has really revolutionized this movement for making the print material accessible. Again, a legacy which was legacy of Professor Vinod Sena, जो कि प्रोफेसर वर्मा के कंटेम्प्रेरी रहे थे, थोड़े relatively younger थे, और उनका विजन रहा है कि आने वाले टाइम में there should be, in order to create educational opportunities for blind people, it's very important that we have access to technology and we have access to printed literature. So Dipender Manocha is such a name who has revolutionized this entire movement for assistive technology and also making reading, printed reading material accessible. Dipender, as we know, is also associated with various organizations, Daisy Forum of India, nationally and internationally, National Association for the Blind, and also lately he has been leading Saksham. So can we hear from you, Dipender?
Sure, and it's an honor to be it's something which is very difficult to express the feelings here, because on one side, you feel that such a personality is physically no more with you, but on the other hand, the whole work of such a great leader, such a great personality, tends to move you towards actually celebrating the life. The life is bigger than the loss. The work is definitely bigger than the loss here. Because the loss is just about the physical existence, whereas I think he is going to live through us. The way he has led his life, I think his legacy is such that is going to live through all of us. Professor Verma has been the person who has given or led the value system of so many organizations. He is the founder, but more than a founder, as I said, I think he is the person who has led, who has lent values to these organizations. So that's been the one of the best, one of the biggest contributions that one could ever make. One more thing which I think comes to mind is that I was actually searching that for today's age, because his books and his work are extremely important for all of us to go through. So if somebody from today's generation or today's world wants to access those books, I think it is extremely important that these books are actually available in the mediums which are reaching out to so many people today. And I think I can just make a commitment here that in next few weeks, if not few days, we will make sure that all his works are actually available on Sugamya Pustakale, and possibly through Sugamya Pustakale, they will be available on the WIPO Global Book Service, which is going to give access to those wonderful works to persons with print disabilities all across the world. And I think it's not just the availability that we should ensure. I think we need to sort of make sure that people know that these books are now available and the importance of such books. And I think people like Danish and other people can actually help in doing so, that we are able to not only make such books available in the format that everybody can read with their eyes, ears, and fingers, but also that people know about them and can actually really enjoy them in the way that that they're intended to be. Um, so that would be the tribute to his life from my side, that we will definitely make sure that his works and his life reaches as many people and touches as many lives as possible. With those words, I would just say that my humble tributes to this great soul. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Dipendra. I think, as usual, of course, your contribution is to make all this print matter accessible to all of us. I think that's carrying forward the vision of these luminaries, of our pioneers, who pioneered, you know, who actually became the role models because they were the pioneers in among blind people. And I think that was their vision, that the way they had struggled for their education. And Verma साहब का एक बहुत बड़ा struggle यही रहा, because of, he at an older age, it's difficult to have access, to get used to the emerging technology. And because he had such a great passion for reading, and if his books are made accessible to all of us, because that's what, they all wanted us. We should have access to reading. And Anil ki baat I was saying, कि Anil ultimately क्या हुआ? He kept looking for a reader. Once he started a new life, यहाँ से गुड़गांव से छोड़ के, when he had to, go to Chandigarh, where his brother was living, and bought a house nearby, and he started a new life. So his greatest struggle was that he didn't have a base for reading. He didn't have access to readers. So after a long search, and after having failed to find any reader, finally, he decided to train Anil. And Anil basically initially, जो पहले reading writing का काम नहीं करता था, Anil ultimately got trained, and he was the one who used to read for him, and they used to read for hours and hours. And Anil was the one who, I think, was primarily the main instrument in helping him, in main support in helping him to write the autobiography as well. So now we have a little change now. So far I've been using the word senior. Maybe that meant both in the context of age as well as accomplishment. But now we move on to a relatively younger generation. And so maybe age wala criteria nahi hai, but accomplishments are equally there. Dinesh Mahajan is one such person who has been revolutionizing the internet radio revolution, focusing on disability issues, particularly blindness. And that's a very important forum for all of us to, as a source of information, to know what's going on in the blindness field.
First of all, I pay my tribute to Verma sir. Sir, I'm very fortunate. I had an opportunity to learn a lot of things from all the seniors. I think I'm the youngest person who has learned so much from our seniors, and that one thing I'm very fortunate. I always believe that there are very rare people who get this opportunity. I had an opportunity to do a show with Verma sir, and he was so humble. And as you all are saying, that he considered everybody their children. So he also considered me, and he taught me. Initially we learned so much from Rastogi sir in the beginning when we started Radio Udan. That Cole sir, one day he himself called me and he said, you should definitely do an interview with Ved sir. And I said, sure sir, your command is my duty. And I'm very fortunate. He told me so many things. I'm blessed. उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि कैसे इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी में उनका जो एडमिशन हुई, उनसे पहले कभी भी उस यूनिवर्सिटी में लगभग पिछले 70-75 सालों में किसी ब्लाइंड ने एडमिशन नहीं ली थी. He was the first person to get an admission in इलाहाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी. And वो भी लड़के. तो बहुत ही डेडिकेटेड थे। और जब भी ऐसी खबर मैं सुनता हूँ तो बड़ा एक वैक्यूम सा आ जाता है, एंड आई डीपली शैटर्ड व्हेन आई हर्ड द न्यूज। सरहीन सर भी नहीं रहे, कोरोना में उनका भी देहांत हुआ। तो यही है कि उनकी जो बातें हैं, जो लेगेसी है, उसको वी विल ट्राई टू कैरी ऑन। जो उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि 2-3 चीजें हैं जो याद रखना है लाइफ में। एक तो सेल्फ डिपेंडेंसी, जो आपको जो इंडिपेंडेंट होना है अपनी लाइफ में, किसी के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट नहीं रहना है। एंड थ्रू आउट ही वॉज नेवर डिपेंडेंट ऑन एनीवन, अनिल जी ने भी बताया। दूसरी चीज उन्होंने कही कि जो तुम कर रहे हो वो बहुत अच्छा है, और मेरे लिए तो सपने के पूरे होने जैसा है। आई नेवर when I was studying, we never thought कि era will come that blind people will start their own radio, and you people have created history, but sustainability is important. He said, don't run after name fame. It is going to be a thankless job, and do for the community. And if you will do good, तो यू विल बी रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ऑटोमेटिकली। तो तुम यंग हो, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं कि थकना नहीं है, हारना नहीं है, यू हैव टू मूव ऑन। तो आप इसको कंटिन्यू करिए। और लोगों को, एंड ही ऑल्सो सेड कि उन्होंने कहा कि रेडियो को पता नहीं लोग किस किस तरह से देखते हैं, लेकिन मेरा जो रेडियो उड़ान को देखने का नजरिया ये है कि अगर किसी भी डिसेबल्ड को एम्पावर करना है तो वो the best way is information, to disseminate information. तो अगर आप कोई भी स्कीम चला लो या कुछ भी चला लो, अगर वो लोगों तक पहुंची ही नहीं तो उसका कोई बेनिफिट रह नहीं जाता। तो इसी तरह आप लोगों तक जानकारियां पहुंचाएं। और उन्होंने मुझे ये भी कहा था कि कोशिश करो ज्यादा से ज्यादा सीनियर लोगों की इंटरव्यूज करो, उससे हमारी जनरेशन को सीखने को मिलेगा, उनको ये पता लगेगा कि हमारे टाइम पे स्ट्रगल किस तरह का था। तो learned a lot of things from him, and today very sad। हम कितना भी बोल लें कि हमें सेलिब्रेट बिल्कुल करना चाहिए उनकी लेगेसी को, लेकिन जो वैक्यूम किसी के जाने से होता है वो मुझे लगता नहीं है फील होगा। उनकी बातों को और उनकी लेगेसी को हम कैरी करने की कोशिश करेंगे। मेरी ओर से मैं यही श्रद्धांजलि देना चाहता हूँ। ओम शांति।
Thank you, Danish. The fact that you've agreed to put this on the Radio Udan website so that even people who are not here, very few people are here, and they, the younger generation would learn about him, and I think that's a way of carrying forward his legacy. And we also, I think, have to think creatively how we could carry forward his legacy. ये बातें कल AICB में भी हो रही थी, and we have to find ways how we could, carry on his legacy and continue it, and spread his ideas to the younger generation. So now we should move on to relatively, again, younger group of people. And apart from Saksham and Radio Udan are another partner organization who has collaborated in organizing this tribute is Disability Rights Front, and we have Disability Rights Front, and we have a couple of activists from there. Before I do that, I want to convey that Dipender had to leave. He apologized. His father is hospitalized, so he had to go to the hospital. But it was so nice of him to have stayed here and facilitating this. And he did not tell me that his father is hospitalized last night when we talked about Saksham joining us in this endeavor. That's really so nice of him. Sir Srivastav sir, Verma साहब की generation के ही हैं, relatively थोड़े younger than Verma साहब, and he is one of our most senior faculty members from University of Delhi. Professor Srivastav साहब retired as a professor of mathematics from Delhi University. उनका सोशल साइंसेज में डायरेक्टली लेना देना नहीं था, बट ही वाज वन ऑफ दोज पीपल जो कि ब्लाइंड स्टूडेंट्स के लिए एक फादरली फिगर रहे हैं हम सब के लिए। और जो भी कुछ एक्टिविटीज होती थी 1980s और 90s में, तब से लेके और पिछले 10-15-20 साल पहले तक, श्रीवास्तव साहब ऑलवेज देयर, जो भी कुछ एक ब्लाइंडनेस से रिलेटेड एक्टिविटी होगी। एंड सो आई हैड रिक्वेस्टेड हिम स्पेशली। श्रीवास्तव सर अभी ऑलमोस्ट 80 साल के हो चुके हैं, बट गॉड ब्लेस हिम, उनकी हेल्थ अभी ठीक ठाक है और वो अभी सिंगापुर में है अपने बच्चों के साथ। बट आई रिक्वेस्टेड हिम टू जॉइन अस। थैंक यू सर, वी आर सो हैप्पी कि आप ज्वाइन कर पाए। सो वी विल हैव शक्ति आफ्टर श्रीवास्तव सर। जी सर।
श्योर।
जी सर।
जगदीश और हमारे साथी लोगों, ये सुनकर प्रोफेसर वर्मा के निधन का मुझे बहुत दुख है। और सबसे बड़ी बात किसी चीज को समझाने के लिए होती है तो एक उदाहरण चाहिए होता है कि ऐसा कर सकते हो। अरे थ्योरी में बहुत कुछ होता है, ब्राइन पढ़ भी लेते हैं, ये कार्य यार काम कैसे चलेगा। बट प्रोफेसर वर्मा वो उदाहरण थे जो हम किसी को भी मोटिवेट करने के लिए प्रस्तुत कर सकते थे। जो मुसीबतें और मुश्किलें ब्लाइंड को या किसी भी डिसेबिलिटी वाले को होती है, उसके लिए उन्होंने वो पुल बना दिया कि उन कठिनाइयों को आप पार कर सकें, क्योंकि वो उदाहरण थे हमारे लिए। और दूसरों को लिए जो ब्लाइंड नहीं है उनके लिए भी वो उदाहरण थे कि भाई तुम जो जबरदस्ती के दिमाग में पाले हुए हो कि वो कितने असमर्थ हैं, वो उदाहरण आपको बताता है कि वो बात नहीं है। दुनिया कैसे बदली, किस प्रकार से लुई ब्रेल के एक इजाद ने, जो उनके समय में लोग नहीं अपना पाए, लेकिन जिनको लोग आपसे बैठ रहे थे कि वो भीख मांगने वाले हैं, आप सबके मुकाबले में खड़ा कर दिया। ज्ञान के रास्ते में आंख, विजन
क्या
को
पाँच भरे गए।
सतीश, म्यूट एवरीबडी एक्सेप्ट श्रीवास्तव सर राइट नाउ।
हाँ।
सॉरी सर। जी वो
तो समझ की
सतीश
जरूरत है और
जी सर।
वही
हाँ
चीज
okay.
बाद में अपनाई जा पाई, लेकिन फिर भी लोगों को दिखा पाना कि क्या क्या वो कर सकते हैं। जगदीश खुद उदाहरण है इस बात के। और मुझे याद है ये लोग हमारे सेकंड फ्लोर पे घर पे उतरते थे, और जिस रफ्तार से उतरते थे, चाहे जगदीश और नरेंद्र मोहन ये सब हमारे घर ये किताबें पढ़ाने के लिए मेरे पास आया करते थे, हमारी पत्नी के पास भी आते थे, तो जिस रफ्तार से उतरते थे, जिस तरह से जोर के कहते थे कि सड़क पार मत कराइए, हमें इसकी ट्रेनिंग है। तो ये जो सक्षमता है, उसके उदाहरण प्रोफेसर वर्मा सबसे बड़े थे हमारे सामने, कि किसी को बता सकते थे देखो भाई ये सब लोग कर पाते हैं। ये सबसे बड़ी ट्रिब्यूट है प्रोफेसर वर्मा के लिए। और आप सब लोग जो आज उनको श्रद्धांजलि के लेने के लिए प्रस्तुत हुए हैं, कि आप उन चीजों को, उदाहरणों को लोगों के सामने लाइए कि किस तरह से हम सब समर्थ हैं। अभी कुछ दिन पहले मैंने एक व्हाट्सएप पर देखा, इजराइल वालों ने एक कुछ ऐसा apparatus लगा दिया है कि आप अपने चश्मे के कमानी में लगा दीजिए, तो किस तरह सेंसर से आप देख सकते हैं, आप पढ़ सकते हैं। तो ये विज्ञान है। और जो जिन लोगों को आप अक्षम समझ सकते हैं, वह सब सक्षम होते जा रही हैं। मेरी बेटी जो यहाँ पर काम कर रही है एक स्टैंडर्ड चार्टर्ड में, तो उसने अपनी टीम में ही एक हीयरिंग इम्पेयर्ड को लिया है और वो बहुत ही सक्सेसफुली कर पा रही हैं। किसी भी मीटिंग में किस तरह से ये नए नए टेक्नोलॉजी की चीजें हैं कर सकते हैं। तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि विशेष रूप से जो इस जद्दोजहद से, इस मुश्किल से गुजरे हैं, वो इन चीजों के बारे में ज्ञान को फैलाएं। जैसे हमारे एक मित्र कह रहे थे, प्रोफेसर वर्मा कह रहे थे, इन चीजों को लोगों के पास पहुंचाइए कि टेक्नोलॉजी में क्या क्या उपलब्ध हो चुका है, आज आपके पास नहीं है तो कल आपके पास आ जाएगा। तो इसलिए जिन चीजों को हम डिसेबिलिटीज कहते हैं, आज की टेक्नोलॉजी उन सब चीजों को ओवरकम कर चुकी है। जो बचा है वो शायद 15-20 साल में उन चीजों को भी ओवरकम कर पाएंगे। तो हम जो जीव विज्ञान के युग में रह रहे हैं, तो हम समझें कि वो हमको एक इक्वालिटी के, और इक्वालिटी ही नहीं, जो सबसे बड़ी बात है, जो मानव गरिमा मिलनी चाहिए हर एक को। कि हम जब कहते हैं लिव एंड लेट लिव, तो लेट लिव में वो कंडीशनल नहीं है कि वो लेट लिव हो और वो नहीं हो, वो कम हो और वो ज्यादा हो। तो ये मानवीय गरिमा की रक्षा आप कर सकें और इस काम को आगे बढ़ा सकें। मैं समझता हूँ प्रोफेसर वर्मा के लिए ये सबसे बड़ी श्रद्धांजलि होगी। मुझे याद आता है प्रोफेसर वर्मा हमसे थोड़ा सीनियर थे, कि किस तरह से जो CI के डॉक्टर प्रोफेसर मेहरोत्रा, किस प्रकार से उनके लेक्चर को जो उन्होंने गांधी जी के बारे में गांधी भवन में दिया था, उसकी तारीफ कर रहे थे कि ही सच ए स्कॉलरली पर्सन। कितना उन्होंने ज्ञान किया है, कितना पढ़ा है, जो सामान्य आदमी ने पढ़ा नहीं। तो वर्मा साहब वो एक उदाहरण है जो आप सबको सामर्थ्यवान बना रहे हैं, और वही सामर्थ्य बनाने का काम मैं आप सब लोगों से चाहता हूं कि आप सब करें। यही प्रोफेसर वर्मा की मेरी सबसे बड़ी श्रद्धांजलि है। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर, आपके वर्ड्स हम सब के लिए, जब हम बच्चे हुआ करते थे तब भी एनकरेजिंग थे, और आज भी आई थिंक स्पेशली फॉर यंगर जनरेशन। एज आई सेड, श्रीवास्तव सर इज 80+ राइट नाउ, और एक पूरा बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग कंट्रीब्यूशन इनका ब्लाइंडनेस कम्युनिटी के लिए रहा है। जब ये यूनिवर्सिटी में हुआ करते थे हम लोग, इनकी बेटियां जो हैं वो हमारी बहनों की तरह थी, साथ में हम लोग खेला करते थे। एंड अभी शायद सिंगापुर में रात के 12 बज गए हैं, फिर भी सर जगे हुए हैं और हमारे लिए वेट किया। दैट्स सो नाइस ऑफ यू।
और सर मैं भी उनमें से एक हूँ, जो मैं भी आता था आपके घर, और आपके बेटी रोली मुझे याद है सर।
रोली,
तो
पूजा, प्रांशु, तीनों। यस यस।
या
एक चीज और भी है, इत्तेफाक से श्रीवास्तव सर का डिसेबिलिटी फील्ड में काफी इंटरेस्ट रहा शुरू से, मार्जिनलाइज्ड फील्ड में, मार्जिनलाइज्ड लोगों के लिए। इत्तेफाक की बात यह है कि रोली जो इनकी बड़ी वाली डॉटर है, शी हैज अ चाइल्ड डॉटर हु इज हैविंग सेरेब्रल पैलिसी। तो लेटली इनफैक्ट श्रीवास्तव सर का डायरेक्ट एनकाउंटर अपनी फैमिली में भी डिसेबिलिटी से हुआ, जबकि पूरा अपना ही इज बीन द वन हु इज बीन टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द ग्रैंड।
आप सब हमारे परिवार के सदस्य रहे हैं पहले से।
जी
वो
सर।
घर में भी है, वो बात, वो उससे कोई विशेष बात नहीं है। वो जो संघर्ष है जो आपका है, वो हमारा पहले था, आज भी हमारा है, और ईश्वर करेगा तो हम सब लोग मिलकर उसको पार कर पाएंगे। थैंक यू।
जी, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू सर।
Yeah.
थैंक यू।
वेल, आज से चंद दिनों पहले तक हमें मालूम भी नहीं था कि हम इतने महान विद्वानों के बीच रहते थे। हम उन लोगों में से हैं जिन्हें दुर्भाग्यवश वो सौभाग्य प्राप्त नहीं हुआ कि हम प्रोफेसर VP वर्मा साहब से कुछ मार्गदर्शन प्राप्त कर सकें। लेकिन अच्छी बात यह है कि उनकी राइटिंग्स, उनके विचार आज भी हम सभी के बीच विद्यमान हैं और विद्यमान रहेंगे, और उनका लाभ हम सभी को होता रहेगा। अब हमारी ये जिम्मेदारी है, हमारी ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि ऐसे साइलेंट एक्टिविस्ट और उनके विचारों को हमें आगे लेके जाना है, यंगर जनरेशन्स तक पहुंचाना है। जब हम इस तरह की कॉन्डोलेंस मीटिंग का आयोजन करते हैं तो उसका एक पर्पस उनको श्रद्धांजलि देने के अलावा ये भी होता है कि उनके विचारों को आगे ले जाने का प्रण हम ले। अब ऐसे समय में जब हम उन्हें श्रद्धांजलि दे रहे हैं, हमारे लिए आवश्यक ये भी है, जैसे कि मिस्टर दीपेन मनुचा जी ने कहा, कि हम उनका जो भी मटेरियल है, जो भी किताबें हैं, उनको एक्सेसिबल फॉर्मेट में लेके आएंगे, और वो समय की ज़रूरत भी है। और अब हमें ये भी देखना होगा कि इस तरह के और भी जो विद्वान हैं, हम उनके साथ अपने इंटरेक्शन को बढ़ाएंगे और उनके विचारों को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। ये हमारे लिए, हमारी यंगर जनरेशन के लिए भी बहुत 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 ज़रूरी है। और वहीं से हम अपने संघर्षों को भी आगे लेके जाएंगे। हम सिर्फ संघर्षों के नाम पे धरना या इस तरह की चीज़ें नहीं कर सकते, वो तो करते ही हैं, लेकिन उसके अलावा हमारे संघर्ष अगर वैचारिक हों तो उसकी सफलता जो है वो और भी ज़्यादा सुनिश्चित हो जाती है। मैं श्रद्धांजलि देता हूँ प्रोफेसर वीपी वर्मा को, और उनके निधन हो जाने के कारण जो वैक्यूम क्रिएट किया है, जिसको हम वाकई में नहीं फिल कर सकते, हम भर नहीं सकते उस वैक्यूम को, उस कमी को, उस शून्यता को। तो मैं उनके निधन पे शोक व्यक्त करता हूँ। ओम शांति।
Thank you, Shakti. Before we the only young professor here who is not only one of the activists and intellectuals, but also incidentally a student and professor of philosophy. So Professor Verma was the first blind professor, and incidentally, she is the other blind professor who's joined the Department of Philosophy in Delhi. Yes, Sharmista, can we hear from you?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's a great opportunity to hear all of you talk about Professor Verma. And I have only been hearing from him. And as far as my acquaintance goes with him, of course, he's been a philosopher. I'm a philosopher too. And we've had the opportunity to see his books, recommend his books to students who do philosophy of religion and philosophy of ethics. And most importantly, he has been blessed, like he was at the time when philosophy department itself was getting established. In fact, not just philosophy department, and my colleagues and friends from Delhi University, Professor Jagdish, you would also know that 1960s was when Delhi University actually established, 1920s, but 60s was the time when it was booming. And that's when he joined philosophy department. And also that he translated many books for Hindi medium students. So that is something which is still remembered in the department, which is still remembered in by the students who do philosophy through Hindi medium. And you wouldn't believe that as young as students who have just joined in 2024 also know his name. So that is the kind of impact that he has on in philosophy department and on philosophy, let's say as an Indian philosopher. So we often, when we talk about Indian philosophers, of course we look back to antiquities and we forget that it's an ongoing journey, and we always have philosophers from all ages. So he is one of the contemporary Indian philosophers, I must say. So that's one thing. And secondly, I've had a chance to speak over a phone call with him once, and when he was actually spending his time in solitude in Chandigarh. that's when I spoke to him, and I just I wanted to, just pay that homage and tell him that how is he remembered when we actually collect our um, references, archivals from 1960s, and I happen to be a part of archival team, and we all know that when we are collecting documentations, when we are doing documentation for NAC, the accreditation process, when we look back and when we are looking for photos and contributions of the earlier professors in the department, of the retired professors, so he's been remembered almost every day in the department. And that is how I think he lives through philosophy department, and he will continue living through philosophy department. And that's the impact of an academician. And whether anybody of us have met him or not, I think we are carrying his legacy, because he was the first blind academician in that sense. So yeah, he would always be remembered. And one personal just a conversation that because I've been taught by his teachers, by his students, so he has been my teacher's teacher. So I've been hearing a lot about him and Krishna ji through my teachers, and the kind of personality he was, and also what what kind of an aura he had in the department, and also how he actually um, advocated about the blind ways. How does the blind person work? That is something I think that was prepared for me. A stage was already prepared for me by Professor Verma. So all respects to him. People remember him in good light, and I think that carries on. And um, even if I'm able to do one bit of it, I'd be glad, and I'll keep trying that. That's all I can say. That should be my homage as a blind academician, as the second person from the Department of Philosophy, from his department. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Srivastava, sir.
you. Ji. You are teaching at Kirodimal College.
Yes, sir, in philosophy department, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
ये हम सभी के लिए बहुत ही दुख की बात है कि हमने अपना बहुत प्यारा शिक्षक खो दिया। एंड वर्मा सर मेरे लिए बहुत स्पेशल थे। हर साल में 5 सितंबर को उनको जरूर मैं फोन करता था। वो मेरे लिए बहुत स्पेशल थे, और मैं अक्सर ये कहता था कि इंग्लिश मीडियम के लोग भी उनकी किताबें पढ़ते थे। और हम सभी के लिए बहुत जान के मतलब एक अजीब तरह की खुशी होगी कि उनकी किताबें ज्यादातर आउट ऑफ स्टॉक रहती थी। इतनी डिमांड में वो रहती थी कि कोई व्यक्ति 12 किताबें और सारी अपने गुणवत्ता में इतनी उच्च कोटि की हों। सर मैं नाम नहीं लूंगा, कुछ लोग आजकल सोशल मीडिया पे बहुत ज्यादा लिखते हैं और अच्छे स्पीकर हैं वो। उन्होंने एक बार मुझसे कहा था कि वर्मा सर की किताबों से हमने फिलॉसफी सीखी। वो अलग डिसिप्लिन के थे, कुछ लोग सोशियोलॉजी के थे, कुछ लोग पॉलिटिकल साइंस के थे, कुछ लोग हिंदी लिटरेचर के थे। तो वर्मा सर का अद्भुत, मतलब मैं तो उनसे मैंने कितना कुछ सीखा, ये मैं जब क्लास में घुसता हूँ तब मुझे रियलाइज होता है। और ये अक्सर दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी का माहौल कुछ ऐसा है कि लोग उस कंट्रीब्यूशन को समझ नहीं पाते। जब मैं दिल्ली आया था, मैं बेसिकली यूपी से हूँ, तो 2 लोगों से मैंने बहुत सीखा, जेएनयू के प्रोफेसर नामो सिंह सर से और डीयू के वर्मा सर से। कि कैसे शानदार है हिंदी में शानदार संप्रत्यय को, मुश्किल से मुश्किल अवधारणा को एकदम आसान तरीके से लोगों को समझाया जाए। उनसे हमने सीखा। मतलब मैं भी कभी पेपर वगैरह में लिखता रहता हूँ सर, और मेरे में लगभग 20 के आसपास लेख हैं। उनसे मैंने सीखा कि कैसे मुश्किल से मुश्किल विषय को आसान से आसान भाषा में लोगों को समझाया जा सकता है। हम ऐसी दिवंगत आत्मा के लिए प्रार्थना करते हैं, भगवान से प्रार्थना है कि ऐसे दिव्य आत्मा को अपने चरणों में शरण दें। बहुत बहुत आभार सर, बहुत बहुत आभार।
Thank you, Satyendra. So nice जनरली मोस्टली हमारे
रमाकांत सिंह चंदेल है सर, हिंदू कॉलेज से पास आउट हूं और अभी एनटीपीसी में कार्यरत हूँ राजभाषा अनुभाग में। आदरणीय जगदीश सर एवं सभी विद्वत वृंद, आज हम स्वर्गीय डॉक्टर वेद प्रकाश वर्मा सर को अपनी विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करने के लिए इस वर्चुअल माध्यम से जुड़े हैं। श्रद्धेय वर्मा सर के विषय में मैं बचपन से सुनता था। एक मेरे शिक्षक थे जो अजमेर ब्लाइंड स्कूल से जिनकी शिक्षा दीक्षा हुई थी, स्वर्गीय राम कुमार उमराव जी, तो वे उनके विषय में बताते थे कि उन्होंने लुई ब्रेल पर एक उत्कृष्ट पुस्तक लुई ब्रेल का व्यक्तित्व एवं कृतित्व लिखी है। कालांतर में जब दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में मैंने प्रवेश लिया तो उस पुस्तक का स्वयं अध्ययन किया और यह पाया कि जैसा कि आदरणीय रस्तोगी सर ने कहा कि एक शोधपरक कृति थी उनकी, और प्रायः हम जिन संक्षिप्त जीवनियों में लुई ब्रेल के बारे में सुनते थे उससे कई गुना अधिक लुई ब्रेल साहब के बारे में तथ्यात्मक जानकारी हमें प्राप्त हुई। वर्मा सर ने उन दिनों में अपने लिए एक सम्मानजनक स्थान बनाया, एक मुकाम हासिल किया जब न तो दृष्टिबाधितों के लिए संसाधन थे, न तो समाज में कोई अच्छी सोच थी, चिंतन धारा थी, और न ही आरक्षण था, रिजर्वेशन था। ऐसे समय में श्रद्धेय वर्मा सर ने सभी के लिए, जो आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी है जो अपने आप को अकादमिक क्षेत्र में स्थापित करना चाहती है, उनके लिए एक मिसाल कायम की, उन सबके आदर्श बने, रोल मॉडल बने। भगवत गीता का जो श्लोक है कि यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठस्तत्तदेवेतरो जनः स यत् प्रमाणम कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते। तो जो आचरण श्रेष्ठ पुरुष करते हैं उनका अनुवर्तन अन्य लोग करते हैं, तभी सफलता हाथ लगती है। तो वर्मा सर भगवत गीता के इस श्लोक को चरितार्थ करने वाले एक महापुरुष थे, स्वनाम धन्य व्यक्ति थे, और दुख होता है जब उनके जीवन के अंतिम कुछ वर्षों के बारे में सुनते हैं तो, कि कैसे उनके पुत्र से उनका मोह भंग हो गया, संबंध विच्छेद हो गया, और अनिल जी ने उनकी सेवा शुश्रूषा की। तो जीवन के सभी पक्षों को उन्होंने जिया और समाज को देने के लिए उन्होंने पुस्तकें लिखी, लेकिन उनका एक जो जीवन है वह साक्षात पुस्तक है, क्योंकि बालकृष्ण शर्मा नवीन जी कहते हैं कि जीवन की पुस्तक के कितने हैं पृष्ठ शेष और उन्हें लिखने को अब हैं कितने निमेष। तो वर्मा सर के बारे में जितना भी कहा जाए, वे बहुत हमारे वरिष्ठ जनों के भी वरिष्ठ थे। उनके विषय में कुछ कहना सूर्य को दीपक दिखाने जैसा है, जैसा उनका नाम तथा वैसा गुण। वेद से संपूर्ण विश्व को प्रकाश मिलता है, और वाकई में डॉक्टर वेद प्रकाश वर्मा सर ने हम सबको अपने ज्ञान से आलोकित किया, प्रकाशित किया। तो आपने मुझे समय दिया। वे नास्तिक थे और निरीश्वरवाद से संबंधित उनके लेख जिज्ञासा में छपते थे, वे भी मैंने पढ़े हैं, और रेडियो उड़ान में दानिश जी ने उनका जो साक्षात्कार लिया था, इंटरव्यू लिया था, वह भी सुना था। तो बहुत कुछ उनके बारे में जानने समझने को मिला। तो नास्तिक थे वे, लेकिन उनकी नास्तिकता में छुपी जो आस्तिकता थी उसे मैं प्रणाम करता हूं। और अधिक कुछ न कहते हुए आदरणीय जगदीश सर, आपको धन्यवाद देता हूं कि आपने मुझे भी अवसर दिया, और परमात्मा से यह प्रार्थना करता हूं कि वे श्रद्धेय स्वर्गीय डॉक्टर वेद प्रकाश वर्मा जी की पुण्यात्मा को अपने श्री चरणों में स्थान दें। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Sir, I'm Baldev Gulati. With your kind permission, can I speak?
Yeah,
Couple of words.
yes, please, please. Yeah, please.
I have unfortunately never got an opportunity to meet Professor Verma. I happen to know him through one of my teacher in the Department of Social Work, who was his student who had worked very closely with him by the name Professor Sushma Batra. And I had an opportunity to read a couple of books written by him when I was a student of social work. Without any affirmative action in getting an opportunity in Delhi University in the Department of Philosophy, it's unbelievable, you know, and I can imagine the person of his caliber, because without any reservation and without the easy availability of reading material, he could reach to such heights. It's unbelievable. I pray to Almighty that his soul may rest in peace. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Baldev. I'm sorry,
I listened Dr. Jagdish Chandra's voice message. No, I felt something very inspiring life of Dr. Ved Prakash Verma sir. Jagdish sir has posted very innovative, informative message about the holy life of academic life of Dr. Verma sir. In fact, I had heard his name. In fact, I read his name in Braille script when I was in the 8th standard. When I was studying in Mysore Blind Boys School, Karnataka, Mysore, in the Dasara occasion, I came to my village. And immediately I received a book by post. The book was in Braille. And it was, I remember well, it was on the life of Jaiprakash Narayan's life. And forward was written by Dr. Ved Prakash Verma. How far I had understood his English at that time, I don't know actually, but I read out his name. To that extent, I'm very fortunate. And Jagdish Chandra sir had posted very informative message. And more specifically, in his autobiography, 3 important notes he had shared. He had suggested to a visually impaired community, visually impaired individuals, to have a own house. Doesn't matter whether it is big house, small house. It is essential for us to have a own house. How wonderful, how realistic indeed. He has left many things. I was born in the year of 1967. He had joined as a professor in the 1969. How wonderful. In these days, even we have got many obstacles, many challenges. At that time, he had come across many challenges, many obstacles, many difficulties in his life. Moreover, he studied philosophy. He was a great philosopher, inspiring guide for all of us. Now, what shall we do? According to me, there are many organizations, All India Confederation for the Blind, NFB and BRA, and many institutions and many learned professors, including Ram Nivas sir, Jagdish sir, and all of us. What shall we do now for his name to be remembered always? Let us, all the institutions, all the associations can come together and think, we shall install an award on his name, or we shall have one seminar or workshop or symposium, whatever it is, at least once in a year on his name. In this way, I suppose that would be the great reverence, great honor to his holy life from our side. Let his soul be rest in peace. No, in these words, by these words, I shall offer my condolence to the great soul of Dr. Ved Prakash Verma. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Shastri Saab. That was Dr. Shivraj Shastri from Gulmarga in Karnataka. Thank you very much. And I think we all are definitely prompted to think about that we should do something to preserve his legacy. I think one thing that we can do is maybe to start with in the next few weeks or few months, we should organize a reading session of his autobiography. I think some of us can read it and we can talk about it.
Yes, sir. That's good.
That could be a good beginning, and that will encourage us to think much more how we can preserve his legacy and carry it forward for the younger generation. For ourselves,
sir, is it available in Braille, sir? Braille?
It's very much available. It's available in Braille from AICB, and the print copy, it's Macmillan publication. Anil Junka ek sahi maane mein.
It's available in English version, sir?
No, unfortunately, it's in Hindi. I think we should try to, we should take up this task of getting it translated, work with the publisher. And, I think that's one thing that we have to do it. It's unfortunately
let us have a
available only in Hindi right
discussion on
now.
his
Because
autobiography. That's good, sir. Good suggestion.
Yes, I think that can be the beginning of it, and then we can take it forward from there. So I think with this note, let me thank on behalf of VHITA, Visually Impaired Higher Education Teachers Association, everybody here and our partner organizations who joined us, Disability Rights Front, Radio Udaan, Saksham. As I said, Dipender had to leave. Danish is still here. And we have our friends from Disability Rights Front who joined us. So thank you very much. I think this has been a great tribute to Verma Sahab, and we will share it with Anil, who's actually now we could say his only family member whom he considered to be Anil, and his wife and their little daughter as his family member at this point. So we will share the recording with him also. And Danish will put it on the Radio Udaan website so that it can be used by the wider audience. Thank you very much, everybody.